Welcome back to the channel, boys. So Sony just announced today that physical disc production is ending for all new PlayStation games. I think starting in January 2028. Do we really need discs? Okay, well, it comes down to preferences as most things do, but in my opinion, no, there is no need for discs. It's nice to have as an option, I guess. I kind of see it like the people that buy albums on vinyl, which I think is pretty cool. In the end, I don't buy albums on vinyl. I stream them on Apple Music, and I don't buy discs in any regard. I don't buy Blu-ray discs for movies, and I haven't bought a video game disc in years. I genuinely can't remember the last game I bought on disc. It's literally been at least 10 years. Plus, my PS5 is digital, and I remember thinking it was such a waste of money to spend like an extra $100 for the PS5 that takes discs. And with this announcement, I guess it kind of screws over the people who did buy that version of the PS5. But I mean, this is where we were always going. I was joking that the people who are upset GTA 6 wasn't coming with a disc are probably more upset that it isn't coming with a memory card too, because I see discs as just a thing of the past and honestly pretty inconvenient. I like being able to just switch between my games seamlessly, not needing to pop out the disc and pop in another disc and make sure it isn't scratched or any of that kind of stuff, especially if you have kids, or just for kids in general. It is more convenient and it's safer to just buy these things digitally. Now, for those who like discs, please let me know why if you haven't already left a video, because when you look online, it seems like my opinion is the quote-unquote wrong one, the wrong opinion, and this is coming off like it's evil and people saying they're leaving PlayStation over this. And I don't know, I mean, I touched on it with the GTA video because that's where this discussion started. This is breaking news, but GTA had already announced that they were not going to be selling physical copies of the game. A lot of the outrage I see online kind of seems performative and fake. Not that the outrage itself is fake. I believe people are upset about it, but the people saying that they're like throwing away their PlayStations, this kind of stuff. I mean, seriously, what is the big deal? I mean, why does it really matter? If you're a collector and you like to collect video game boxes, I mean, that's dope. And it's always cool to see a fat collection like that, but I can't be the only one that sees that as almost like a thing of the past, man. I mean, even if I go to a friend's house, I'm trying to think, I never see that sort of collection anymore. Everyone I know just uses digital copies. And most of all, the regular everyday gamer, not chronically online person, mostly uses digital, in my opinion. And people like that probably make up a lot of and most of the consumer base anyway. I just don't think we lose much in this. There is the concern that you don't fully own your games anymore, and especially when it's digital. And I can see that. But see, even in that, what exactly is the fear? That you pay for a game and that it gets deleted or they block you from playing for whatever reason. Now, believe me, I understand these corporations are not our friend, and I believe in ownership. We should own the stuff we buy. And this does come off as adding like another layer of control, but I think the odds of this having a really big impact on anything are very low. It was the direction we were going anyway. I think this is nothing more than a financial decision. They have the data, maybe they can see a clear trend of physical copies being sold less and less every year. It no longer makes business sense to keep doing that, which is the bottom line. They don't care about the maybe single digit percentage of people that will leave because of this decision. I mean, this was probably something they thought of already, and they probably just determined, it's not going to make that much of a financial impact or difference to them. One thing I will say is that this should absolutely make the cost of video games cheaper. They're saving a shit ton of money halting production on making physical copies, but we know that that's not going to happen. We know that they don't, this shit ain't going to be fair to us in that regard. If everyone's saying that they're ditching the PS5 over this decision actually does that, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference in how much money they make. I mean, again, I am biased and I have a digital PS5. This entire thing is irrelevant to me, and I'm surprised that this hasn't happened already. But I think more people think this way than the opposite. Like I said before, just like regular people. And Rockstar Games, they were getting so much backlash for their decision to keep GTA digital. But for all we know, they were just following PlayStation and had no choice. They probably got the heads up a minute ago. We're talking about a game that'll be around and be purchased over the next like 10 years potentially. So looking at the big picture, as far as Rockstar goes, they have no reason to waste money producing these if the PlayStation isn't even gonna accept them, As far as PlayStation, I just don't blame them. They are gonna piss off some people, as we can see online. Is it gonna make that big of an impact on anything, to be honest? Absolutely not. But at the same time, the only way this could ever change is if enough people just stopped buying PlayStation products or memberships entirely. Like, it would have to really hurt their pockets to, for them to even notice. And when you see the outrage online, you might think like, damn, yeah, there's enough people to really send a message, but truthfully, I doubt it. And it's just like a bubble, in my opinion. The thing about the outrage, though, anyone complaining and sending threats to no longer support PlayStation, they better just stick to that, because it's kind of cringe when a big deal is made like this, only for the people complaining to just forget about it or not stick to it, stick to what they said, even if it makes zero difference. They have to stand on that shit, bro, because don't act like you're taking some sort of stand only to fall back on it if not enough people join you or something. Because in the end, I do understand, I know I've made my point very clear and my side very clear. This does not affect me, but even outside of myself, I don't feel like this is something to ditch your PlayStation over. I say all that, but I do understand, I mentioned it before, but I don't like the idea of not owning the things that we buy. And, technically we do own them, but do we really? It could turn into some licensing thing. I mean, there's a lot of ways it could go, and a lot of them are bad. We don't have like some sort of crypto wallet where we can hold our games and really own our stuff digitally. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. And like I've said many times, I just feel like this was the direction that we were always going in all regards, man. They will stop making Blu-ray discs or however they're releasing movies. I mean, I don't take part in any of that physical media stuff, man. They'll probably just start streaming everything. And why wouldn't they? You have to understand, like, from their perspective, why waste money? Just because a few people like, having a collection of stuff, they don't care about you, bro. They don't care about me. They don't care about any of us. This wasn't a decision to make anybody's life easier besides themselves, right? It's just sometimes I feel like when we make a big fuss, and, people have the right to have an opinion on anything. I'm not mad at anyone for being upset about this. Sometimes I just feel like these kind of things might water down other actual criticisms. And not to say that actually that is true. There are some criticisms that are more important than others. I'm not trying to downplay you if you're really upset about this, bro. But yeah, that's just my take on it, man. Quick video for you guys. Thank you for watching the video. Please let me know what you thought in the comments. I know that my opinion is the unpopular one, and I don't do that on purpose. This is just truly what I think about the situation. My reasoning for that is obvious, because I don't take part in the physical media. I don't take part in any physical media. Like I said, I don't buy movies discs. I don't buy game discs. I don't buy CDs, for music. So this doesn't affect me at all. But if it does affect you, if you are someone that is a fan of collecting these things, and you like we talked about, you like this kind of stuff, I'm not like happy that this is happening to you. I just don't feel like it's that big of a deal. But let me know if you disagree, bro. Peace.